Masomo ya nyumbani au nje ya shule maarufu homeschooling ni mfumo wa elimu ambao unaendelea kukita mizizi, ingawa gharama yake ndio huenda kidogo ikafanya wengi wakipendekeza shule za kawaida, kwani masomo haya yana mahitaji ya kipekee, jinsi tunavyoeleza na Michael Onyango, mwalimu na mkurugenzi wa shule ya aina hii hapa mtaa wa Hurlingham jijini Nairobi.
My name is Michael Onyango, director Joy Homeschool. Joy Homeschool is a school that was initiated in the year 2016 with the concept of bringing learning to our homes. Now, homeschooling is a bit different from a regular school. Now, the reason why this is different is because we don't teach kids like in a normal class setup where we have maybe 30 students and one teacher. So the concept of homeschooling is individualized, based way of learning, where we take care of the fact that students are different and they're placed differently. We have those who are slow, we have those who are faster, we have those who understand things very fast. So you see in a class setup, what sometimes happens that most teachers go with the most brilliant ones. And in that process you find that some when you're slow, you are left behind. And sometimes even in a class setup, you have a situation whereby the bright ones have understood something, and then there are these few students or number of students who have not understood something. So the teacher sometimes goes back a bit to ensure that these few also have understood. So even the brightest students also left behind. So what homeschooling does is that we take advantage of the individual learner. So it's not a class setup, and then it is a one-on-one. So one teacher, one student, as compared to a class setup where we have 25 or 30 students and one teacher.
Tofauti ya mfumo huu na darasa la ziada au tuition kwa kimombo ni nini?
This is not tuition because we have a program that runs more or less like a school. But now it is just that we are dealing with one student. Yeah, we have break just like a normal school. Yeah, we have they also do games just like a normal school. But now it is a one-on-one approach of learning.
Onyango alianza shule hii mwaka 2016 alipata wazo au maono haya kwa mwajiri wake akiwa bado chuoni.
Now, while I was still in the university, I met this friend who was doing homeschooling. So I worked for him for some time, and then that idea of homeschooling, I picked it from then. Okay, so after working with him for some time, I decided now I will want to start my own homeschool.
Umaarufu wa mfumo huu huenda umechochewa na janga la corona.
The system is getting popular. Initially it was not that popular, but after COVID, COVID made people realize that you can teach your kid at home. Your kid can still learn while at home. Your kid can still learn online. Initially those were things that were not there. Yeah, but now after COVID, people realize that this is possible. A kid can learn within this home environment and still understand things and do exams and do well.
Je, ni ukweli mfumo huu unalenga watu wa ngazi za juu kwa jamii?
I can say yes and no at the same time. Yes, for the reason that homeschooling is not cheap. Yeah, it is not cheap. So for a child, because why is it not cheap? Because you see, for example, if you're doing homeschooling and you have a PP2 student, this PP2 student will require, for example, one teacher. This teacher will be paid by that parent. So his monthly salary is attached to this student. So it cannot be cheap. Yeah, but at the same time we are also not saying that it cannot be done by an average, or it depends with the understanding that an institution, we have different institutions who are doing homeschooling or different schools. It depends with the agreement between the teacher, the parent and the institution. Okay, so it is possible for it not to be cheap. Around 70% is more or less associated with the will to do in the society.
Je, mzazi anaweza mfunza mwanae nyumbani?
Teaching is meant for the teacher. It is the teacher who has the knowledge and skills to teach. A parent can be blessed in science, but he or she does not have the pedagogical skills to teach. So not everyone can teach. Teaching is left for the teacher.
Masomo haya yanatekelezwa vipi na kwa mpangilio upi?
We introduce a student to homeschooling just like in a normal school setup. We carry out an interview. We interview the kid. He does both written and oral assessment. That helps us understand the level of the student, his understanding and the gaps. We also do an interview with the parent, so that the parent can give us a brief background about the kid. Where was he learning, or where was she learning? How has she been performing in the past years? So after knowing that, and from the assessment results, we are able now to advise the parent which level, which curriculum will fit for this student. Okay, so once we have that information, we design a program that suits the student, because just as I said, it is more individualized approach of learning. There are some students who, for example, the 844 will work for them.
Ni mbinu au mifumo zipi unazoziangazia?
We are handling curriculums like we are handling CBC, we are handling 844, we are handling Cambridge, or the international curriculum. Now the international curriculum has two, the UK curriculum has two examination body. We have Cambridge and we have Excel by Pearson. So we do both, and then we also handle IB, International Baccalaureate. We also handle the United States or the American curriculum. So those are the curriculums that we are handling for now. I can say it's 50-50. We have local Kenyans who are doing homeschooling, and we also have a number of international students who are doing homeschooling. So it's 50-50.
Je, masomo haya humpa mwanafunzi fursa ya kutangamana, kwa mfano michezo kama shule za kawaida?
Now we have a program that is home based, where a teacher goes to the client's home or to the student's home to teach him or teach her at home. Number 2, we are doing what we call the center based. We have a center where the student can come to our center. Number 3, we are doing online. Now, but sometimes the question is, when a child is doing homeschooling, how is he interacting? How is he socializing with other students? But the reality is that where the student lives, in that community where he lives, he is living with other kids. So the monotony of classwork, of just being at home alone, is also broken down once the student, after class, he is able to interact with other students. But also, we have a program where, we have other homeschoolers, which every week on a Friday, they gather together for games that gives them also opportunity to do what? To interact with one another.
Je, mtihani wa kitaifa hufanywa vipi, na wanafunzi wanapofuzu huendelea au kujiunga vipi na shule za upili?
The examinations are done the same time. When the students were doing KCP or KCC are doing exams, at the same time our students are also doing the exam. And what the government has done is that government has given us platforms, I think in every sub-county, where students can register. Students who are doing homeschooling can register their exams, and they are able to do. And someone might say, now if they're doing homeschooling, how can they be placed? For example, if you are below 18 years and you are wondering now, will my student get a school? For example, you've done class 8, or my student get university. What the government does, that the government cannot register a student for class 8 without him selecting a school if he's below 18 years. So eventually, just like in a normal school, that student will also be placed in a school depending on how he or she has performed.
Hebu tuchore taswira ya mwanafunzi kujiunga na shule hii.
We run a program from 3-year-old. So we start from preschool, from PP2, PP1, going until 4844 until Form 4. Yeah, but for the Cambridge or for the international curriculum, we start down there from preschool, from preschool, or what we call the reception stage. Yeah, so from the reception until A level. A level is year 12, year 13, which Kenya used to have they're Form 5, Form 6. Yeah, so we do until that level.
Kuna matumaini siku za usoni?
As an institution, we interact with around 60 to 70 students on a daily basis. The future of homeschooling is so bright. Yeah, we are looking at a time where we have a number, just like in the UK and the US, where we have a good number of students who are doing homeschooling. So the future is so bright, and we are still working together with the government just to ensure that everything is working well here, so that a child does not miss 1 or 2 areas. Yeah, the government has something to do, of course, as far as homeschooling is concerned. They have the regulations, they have the standards to set. Yeah, for example, one of the we just can't employ anyone to be a teacher. Yeah, but through the Teacher Service Commission, the teachers are able to get their certification, they're able to get their TSC number, so that you're working with a certified teacher. That is the role of the government. Yeah, so the government has a big role to play, to give us, when teachers are graduating, they're doing something for us.
Any future plans?
Our future plan is to make this international through the online platform, which is doing so well, where we can have students and teachers from different parts of the world teaching a student irrespective of where the student is. But also looking at a future where we'll have many centers within and outside Nairobi. We're also looking at opening a center in Kisumu, opening a center in Mombasa. Those areas are very, very promising for homeschooling, because we are getting inquiries from Meru, we are getting inquiries from Kisumu, Mombasa. That tells you that we need to have centers there, and we have to have teachers also operating in those areas.
Na changamoto je?
Now the limitation is still that aspect of how will my child socialize? Okay, how will my child socialize? How will people take me? Yeah, sometimes it looks like not normal. You look like abnormal when a child is learning at home, but I can tell you for sure there's a lot of advantage, especially as far as the student understanding a concept. Yeah, homeschooling does so well, and we've seen our kids improving their grades and their performance because it is a one-on-one. We have students who don't ask questions in class because maybe they fear the teacher or what. But you see, in a homeschooling, in a one-on-one approach, one of the things that we believe as teachers, if you fall in love with the teacher, you fall in love with the subject. So homeschooling creates a bond between a teacher and a student, and this student is able to open up, is able to ask questions, and when he's asking, or when he or she is asking questions, then he's able to understand. Things are explained better to him. So homeschooling is the best choice now.
Bila shaka elimu ni nguzo. Haijalishi ni mbinu ipi umeitumia. La mno elimu bora. Naitwa Eva Juma, makala Riziki Yangu.